Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 8 of the Terminus podcast for the weeks of August 23rd, 2014. I, as always, am your host, Ellis, otherwise known as Train Man. With me I have Wiebold, TJ, and Milky as my co-hosts, and JDur as our special guest.
Hello.
The game tonight.
And remember, the train will terminate at this
station.
Go!
Boom.
So this week we're in beautiful and actually a little bit cloudy Rochelle, Illinois, watching an intersection between the Union Pacific Main Line and the BNSF Main Line.
You took notes, didn't you?
No, I'm still watching the camera.
Oh.
What, you think I'd take notes?
Well,
I'm not that prepared.
Well, when we were telling you about the camera, it sounded like you were just typing stuff down to remember.
Oh. No, that was typing stuff. Well, that's for another week. Anyway, rail fanning.
Rail fanning, and of course I am at the top of the list, so...
Because you're the host.
I am the host, that's why I'm number one. Swag.
Not fair.
Numeral.
I'm the section leader.
We're the champions.
But,
I'm the king of the world.
I've got plenty of rail fanning this week, actually. Or these past 2 weeks.
I thought you were going to say Clint Eastwood. I was like,
Oh, dear.
I'm not sure what that has to do with anything.
It has nothing to do with anything.
But
It's like so funny.
on the same day, not on the same day that we recorded, but on the same day the last Terminus podcast was released, I spent my last Saturday in Rhode Island, and I went down and volunteered at Waterfire Providence, which is a celebration of the arts where there's braziers on the river with, they're wood-burning braziers, and they're strung all along the middle of the Providence River, and us, the Waterfire volunteers, go out in boats and feed the fires.
never forget.
Okay.
What's a brazier? Is it like a keelboat?
No, a brazier, just think of it like a big metal bowl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like your backyard.
Seems legit.
I was thinking
your
along the
backyard
lines
fire.
of steamboat or something. I'm like, why do you have to take a separate boat out to feed the fire?
No.
Okay, that
but
makes sense.
It was really it was my first time being on a boat because it's the closest I'm going to get to be old enough to doing it, which is 18.
Why?
And it is intense. Like, of course, the braziers are burning. It's actual fire.
What?
And you're
Fire?
first of all, you're in a wooden boat, driving up to these braziers, and everyone piles to the side of the boat and stacks very carefully in order to make a nice looking pattern, wood on top of the fire, while leaning off the side of a still moving boat.
Well, you know what they say about fires on boats.
It's bad.
Titanic.
Yeah, and it's hot.
Fortunately, the boats are painted with fire retardant. But we had a section.
Don't talk about the boats that way. They're just special.
Boats
You
have
don't
feelings,
understand like we do.
Wow.
Why do you think that Titanic ran to an iceberg? It was depressed.
It was doing the ice bucket challenge.
Yes.
An advanced version of the ice bucket
Wow.
challenge.
I nominate all passengers for the ice bucket challenge.
But we got stationed on a section of river that was closest to underneath the Providence Place Mall, which is where the railroad tracks go. So the whole night I was on the boat, like, come on, see a train.
Whistles go woo
and we
woo.
and we were in there for our second feeding session.
Feeding hit.
Yeah.
Oh my.
And Toaster.
Feeding time.
Toaster goes by
Yeah.
with a regional on it.
Toast.
And I'm like, yes!
I was gonna say, like, please be a train, please be a train, please be a train, and then you go home and on the news the next morning, it's like, Tom, this is amazing. Last night, you left at like 10 o'clock. At approximately 10:01 p.m., 3 Berkshires fully restored, a Malay and a 40 came storming up the coast of Rhode Island.
Wow.
That would suck.
It would be really cool to just the fact that it happened, but yeah, it would suck to miss it. But I paid more than one visit to Providence that week. The second time was really just, I was kind of passing on through and I just kind of paused outside the train station and looked down. And I was looking through bushes and it was driving away. And it was an MBTA train, so I expected to see an F40 on it. But it wasn't. The front looked like an F40 from what I could see, but the rest of it was narrow, like a Jeep. And I went, did they go on a diet or something? Did they slim down? Eventually I went home and looked up the engine roster for the MBTA. It was actually a GP40. But I was really thrown for a loop for a little while there, just because I wasn't sure quite what I had seen. But actually, on the same day as that, I went out to Newport. And there isn't too much in terms of railways in Newport, but it's got the only scenic in the state. And that's the old...
Is it very small?
Quite. That's the Old Colony
it's
Railroad.
terrible.
It's not terrible. They do what they can.
Is it the Old Colony?
Yeah.
Don't be mean to the Old Colony like that. They're trying.
They are trying.
But they do, yeah.
Just like
they
Steamtown.
they lie about their schedules. Because I went out there to film a my friend is doing a music video for the song Radioactive by Imagine Dragons. We don't need singing, thank you.
No. DJ?
What we do.
No.
But so I checked the schedule and it was a Tuesday. And I checked the schedule and it was like, oh, so they only run trains on Sundays rather.
Tuesday.
That's fine. So we parked at this parking lot and we started walking down the tracks because the place had to look a little bit abandoned and the tracks aren't exactly well kept. Because they're broke. Because the Old Colony does not have money.
They don't lift either.
No, they don't even lift. But we got about
stole their thunder.
We got about 50 yards down the track, and all of a sudden, the dinner train comes around the corner. The dinner train. Keep in mind, this is 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
How'd you
Not
know
only
it was
do
a
they
dinner
not
train?
lie about their schedules, I think they're just straight up confused.
Maybe it was the
They're confused.
Are their coaches wooden? Because I think they've been sprayed with fire retardant.
Oh,
That's
good
not
one.
very nice. No, but they're metal coaches.
Oh.
Sorry to ruin that for you. But
Yes,
Sorry to kill the joke.
metal coaches. But dinner train with a load of old people having dinner. And
Lovely.
we just kind of...
Oh, that's why. It's 2 o'clock. It's dinner for the old people.
Yeah, it was the early bird
Old
special.
Colony.
Oh, it's the early bird special.
Okay, so we were in basically a culvert with embankments and trees on both sides that you couldn't run into. And there wasn't
Yeah.
any place to duck out of the way, so the train comes around the corner and the three of us are like,
Oh god.
So,
You're like,
but it was more like not run. It was more like walk briskly away from the train because
Yeah,
they
it
were
goes
only
so
going
slow.
about 4 miles an
Power
hour.
walk.
And
Those trains are incredibly slow.
it was
How
really
fast do they go?
it was really funny though because it was like my friends are looking at me like, I thought you said there weren't going to be trains today, and I'm showing them the schedule like there aren't supposed to be trains today.
Well,
There
were
aren't
you using the
trains
one at the
today.
PN?
What?
Was it like, did you have it like a brochure?
No, it was online.
Oh, because I was going to say, because if you were using the one that they give out at the PN, it might have been out of date, because usually the stuff that they have at the PN is pretty old.
That's not nice.
Well,
I
but
mean,
it's
it's true.
true.
Brochures, advertising 3985 and 844 going through.
Then later in the week, I went to Boston, and not to see the band this
Boston.
time. I went to the town, or to the city of Boston. Boston.
Boston.
The fools.
For my last outing with my girlfriend before I went here in college, where I am right now.
Have fun.
Yeah, it's fun because I don't have classes
Never
yet.
forget.
But the most interesting thing about it was, well, we took the MBTA, and that was pretty cool. But we also saw an ACS 64 on the way, and I was very happy.
Did you foam?
Yes,
Yeah.
I
You
foamed.
need to teach Vanessa that word so that she can call you a foamer whenever you do something like that.
Yeah. As if she doesn't make fun of me enough.
For what?
For trains.
For trains,
Yeah.
you clearly don't have a girlfriend.
Really? You're you're
that-
filming it?
You're filming.
That's why we're all single except for you.
I'm not.
No, I'm talking to Ellis.
Yeah, but Wiebold isn't.
Wiebold somehow.
What, are you trying to say something, JDur? Huh?
No.
He's
Oh,
trying to
no.
say you're ugly.
Wanna go?
Oh my.
Go.
If you want to go, let's take this out back.
Let's take this out back. Yeah, you guys can meet in the middle of your two states. So like
Let's meet in the
Wait,
middle
somewhere
of
in Kansas.
We're not in Kansas anymore.
We're in train.
We're in Missouri.
Seriously, I think we passed
We're
the
in
border
Nebraska.
a couple miles
We're
ago.
still in Kansas
Oh,
City though.
Ellis, also remind me, in Firefall, as we're heading toward Louisiana, I need to make that joke when we cross the border. We're not in Kansas
Yeah, but you're
anymore.
not supposed to know where you are.
Okay, maybe we on Moffat when we're coming back.
Also, the last one is just a little thing entitled "Hay and Oil Train." It was on my second to last day in Rhode Island. I had to drive to and from Warren. On the way there, I saw 3 engines hanging out on the spur line to the Port of Providence. On my way back, where I had my mom in the passenger seat, I saw them towing an oil train out of the Port of Providence. So,
Oh, yay. I've never
Cool.
seen that before.
So it was
Oh,
pretty
wait,
cool.
yes I did. I saw it coming back on Friday.
You saw it coming back on Friday? Maybe
well-
you should talk about that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
maybe you should.
Come on, TJ.
Because you're next. That was the segue. Go.
Ah,
Thanks for the segue, Ellis.
Dear.
So, as you may or may not have known, for the last 2 Terminuses, is that how you
Termini.
say it? Or is it
Is it
Terminite?
Termini?
Terminites?
Termites. That sounds like a kind of bug.
Terminus.
Yeah, termites.
No, Terminites. They terminate your house.
oh my.
Your house
terminate
has just
wood
been
products.
terminated.
They terminate your wood. Also, oh my.
Giggity giggity.
Bow, chick, bow, wow.
Hear a train on the webcam, by the way. But
Alright.
There
That
is.
might
I
be
don't
my
see it.
conclusion.
I heard like a.
Oh right. Sorry, my volume is off.
But
Beep, beep.
so I've been in Pennsylvania for 5.5 weeks.
TJ, that's a dog.
What?
On the camera?
No, I heard something.
Yeah, it's a dog.
What?
I can
heard
hear
it.
it. It's a dog.
TJ can't tell the difference between a train and a dog.
Well, I heard a.
It's a dog.
And you call yourself a railroader.
Well, it might just
railroader.
be a very strange sounding dog.
Like the dog swallowed a K5LA.
That's a big dog.
Ah, Jesus.
Okay. Moving on.
Continuing with my rail.
Continue, yes.
Yes.
SP.
SC. So I was on my way. I was taken as an unaccompanied minor back to Rhode Island from Philadelphia, and so Ellis, the day before, Ellis had seen an ACS
Sprinter.
64 going to Boston. By the way, you're welcome for the rail fanning, Ellis.
What?
And so because I just mentioned his rail fanning.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Great, thanks. Because
Flashback.
I already mentioned my rail fanning, so you know what? I feel like it's kind of covered. You're supposed to segue forwards, not backwards.
Oh god.
But
If you
So,
segue backwards, you fall over.
so we were texting.
I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't that be a strike?
No, because it was funny.
That's been at 700.
TJ needs to get a strike for
That's
singing
so
earlier.
But
No, I already
So
gave
I
him a
was on-
strike for basically no reason. So
yeah, you did.
That's
That
sad.
was just like a.
Just for being
Yeah.
TJ.
That was just like a "you're a bad boy" strike.
I already got one for making a Rhode Island a small joke.
Yes.
Ooh.
Shame on you.
I haven't got one, so yay.
Yay, 1501.
But so
Jesse.
I was getting on, or I was waiting at the platform with the lady that hands me over to the conductor, and
Why would you suck?
You know what? I'm okay.
Got that right.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, seriously?
No. No.
but
Alright, so
so
JDur now has one.
You suck.
so I was standing on the platform, and then all of a sudden I hear the bell, which I was like, oh, it's probably a toaster. Then all of a sudden I see those bright LEDs that are an ACS 64, and it just kind of like ran by in front. It kind of just ran by in front of me, and it was really cool. And then for 6 hours, I rode behind it.
For the next 6 hours, you were stuck behind it.
I don't think that's a bad thing,
Did your
but-
train get there on time?
Did you-
It did indeed.
Also,
No, it was like a half an hour
That's the
late.
thing.
oh,
Oh no.
you know what? That's still not bad.
No, it was coming from Norfolk, so it wasn't that bad.
Okay.
And which,
Oh.
if you lived in the Northeast, you'd understand that comment.
Train goes.
Wait, where was it coming from?
Norfolk.
Southern. Oh, so that's no
Technically.
longer a dog.
I hear it.
Whoever I just heard that from, please turn down your volume.
Turn down for what?
What?
The horn on the cam.
Yes.
Shouldn't be able to hear it from me. I have my headset.
Yeah, same.
Same.
I'm not watching it, so.
Same. I'm not watching
Let me
it.
turn this. Let me turn down my volume anyway. Oh wait.
Oh, whatever. Move on.
And then,
It's a podcast about trains, so
Just keep going.
when I was sitting at the station before I saw the ACX 64 in Lancaster, which is before I even got to Philadelphia, I saw Norfolk Southern Power move 2 SD45s going down the track.
DJ, we can barely hear you.
Yeah, TJ
Ken?
kind of dropped off there.
Did
Yeah.
I?
Maybe he's going to make toast.
Can you hear me
He
now?
can't-
you.
Can you
Yeah,
hear me
we
again?
can. Yeah, that's better.
Alright, well, so I saw Norfolk Southern Power move with 2 SD45s. And,
And there you
It died again.
Oh, it's a UP.
Did you? And then I went to a Red Sox game Wednesday, I think, and I saw 2 MTA trains, which one of them was a metal machine, and the other one was a dieting, or a metal machine.
Cool.
TJ
Okay, Milky.
keeps fading away.
Okay. I'll take over from TJ.
This'll
because
take
he's
about
shy.
30 seconds.
Hashtag trains.
So, I
Oh,
saw-
hang on. I'm getting a timer out. I want to time it.
I
got my stop-
can time
I got
it.
my
It's
stopwatch.
okay. I can time it. Milky, go.
Okay.
Okay, I saw 2 put in the Western Railroad trains. One of them was Switzer, and the other one.
in slow
motion. Then I saw 7 Amtraks, 3 of which were toggles. You know, the Amtrak
beep,
has
beep.
8 lines. Yes.
Ellis,
those
look.
lines.
Hold on. Sorry to interrupt, but look on the webcam. It's a thin. The Union Pacific unit that just went by was a thin metal machine.
No, it wasn't. It was an
No, it was not.
SC-70.
Yeah, that was not a
Okay,
GP40.
but
Well, it looked like the hood of
Okay,
it. so-
continue.
back to the Amtrak.
Okay. Go normal
Um,
speed.
I saw 4 coach tires and
Back
3 toggles.
The
I
Amtrak.
Norfolk Southerns on the webcam. And then I saw, I think 2 container trains, a mixed train. One of the container trains had, believe it or not, a PAX Sun Pacific AC 44000. Which I was
4,400.
4400. I was so happy.
It had
with-
44,000 horsepower. It'd be freaking OP.
And also,
You're like, do you even lift?
I can
Lee goes,
imagine,
no.
like
and also,
pulls 40-mile trains at 50 miles an hour.
It adjusts the tilt of the Earth's axis.
and I also,
Hurtling at the earth.
and I also saw a UPSC 70M on the 2-hour age Amtrak Coach Starry or sidecar Starry H.
Only
Because
2
it's
hours? Oh.
Yeah,
So wait, the
Not bad.
SC-70 was on the Amtrak, was it?
yeah.
Also,
And
Was
there's
it
a
painted
one-
Amtrak? What was it painted?
UP.
Huh.
It's the white there.
okay, yeah, that makes sense. One of the Amtrak engines must have shut down.
Yeah, it did.
I
I
saw
saw that on the auto train one time.
I saw a
in
video that was it was linked
had a
from
CSX-8 on
from
it.
the video that you sent me, or the video that you dropped, JDur, in the Skype chat that I was talking to you about earlier, and it was just CSX engine shuffling because one of the engines broke down, and so another train pulled up and they shuffled around engines for 15 minutes to get everything all set.
64 engines.
It did the loco shuffle.
They did the loco shuffle.
Locomotive shuffle.
Truffle shuffle?
No.
I don't think that's what it is.
Oh man, twerk it. so,
No.
so
This is
JDur,
a train podcast, not...
That.
Yeah.
so JDur.
What?
Also, Milky, 3 minutes on the dot.
Okay.
Hello,
JDur, do you have anything to report in terms of rail fanning?
Yes, I
I
actually
heard,
did...
I heard you had
I-
a little.
No, it's a little more than
Oh,
that.
get it?
Yeah, I'll give myself a strike for that.
Okay. So, last week I took a little road trip up to Cedar Point. Great amusement park, by the way. Lots of rides.
Road.
Really?
And up there they have a 3-foot gauge steam railroad, which will be in the cargoes. And we rode the train around the entire loop, and the locomotive Judy K, great whistle, was...
Judy K.
Yeah, that was on the head. There was a caboose on display at one of the stations. And then one of the engines that they used to run is on display somewhere else in the park. Got a picture of that. And then on the way back, we stopped in Bellevue, Ohio, which has a great road museum, easily one of the best I've ever been to.
Best I ever had. Best I ever
There's a lot of good stuff there. There's an Ohio gauge. There's a replica of an Ohio gauge steam engine. It's technically broad gauge.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Okay. There's a Fat Porter.
Oh yeah.
An SD9 that Milky would foam over. Lots of old paintings and stuff. There's a CNS painting that I showed Wiebold. Let me keep looking through here.
Colorado Southern.
Let's see, there's the CNS painting. But I only saw, well, technically 6 trains on the whole trip.
That's not
It was-
a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got stopped by an NS freight on the way up.
Alright, well that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I saw technically 3 trains in Bellevue. One, the museum's right next to a junction that goes into the Bellevue Yard. And I saw a double stack train going into the yard. And then down past the museum, maybe like a mile or something, I saw the headlight of a stopped train. Then as we were leaving town, we went over a bridge and there was another stopped train. And then on the way back, we passed through Attica, which has an NS and CSX Diamond. And just past one of the crossings, there was a CSX freight stopped. Surprisingly, it was on the track. And that's about it.
It happens sometimes. But
Not often.
It is definitely a car.
It wasn't a Givo, so that was cool.
But- For jurisdiction, Ellis, you have something very interesting about Sadie that I could say, oh my.
And
yes, you definitely
Giggity,
could,
giggity,
because
giggity.
at the Steel Wheels Festival, you can get hands-on with Sadie.
Oh my.
giggity, giggity, giggity.
And that means you can have, I believe it was approximately
cab rides?
30 minutes operating the 060 saddle tank locomotive.
Ooh.
I need to go out there.
This is at the Western Maryland Scenic Railroad in
I need to go
West
there.
Virginia. So,
I'll talk about that later in like assigned jurisdictions or something.
Western Maryland?
The 1309.
Oh
I'll talk
yeah,
about
that's
that.
right. All right, so that's
Got the
pretty
website
cool.
pulled up.
The Steel Wheels Festival, September 26th to September 28th. Of course, Have Engine Will Travel will be in the cargoes down below, so be sure to check it out if you're in the area or if you just want to drive around a tank engine.
So
That'd
you
be
two
fun.
can get inside of and get hands-on Sadie.
Oh my.
Yes.
If I knew a Sadie, then okay.
Oh my.
I don't.
My.
I used to know a few.
Somebody
But,
that I used to know.
That's
No.
just...
DJ, I think that's 2. Another singing point.
Yeah, okay,
I don't
yeah.
get singing points.
No, he's getting a singing point now. Shut the hell up,
He just
TJ.
said 10 of them.
Also,
Felt like
the
it is.
details for the Steamtown Rail Fest have been announced. I won't go into that because it's actually kind of a lengthy article, but it's all about what will be presented, what kind of exhibitors are going to be there, and the excursions that they're going to be having. I believe it's one to Moscow, Pennsylvania every day. With the
Is there going to
Moscow.
be a steam
Is it a
engine?
Russian town?
No, it's not a Russian town, and no, it's with units.
Oh.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, well, that's what they use in lieu of steam power. They use their Locomotive.
Is the Reading and Northern going to bring up anything? Because I know they have their operating steamer.
Or
Or is it under I don't know.
I don't know. You could check it out. But yeah.
Okay.
There's
I know they did one year.
some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Railfest 2014 participants and activities. There will be a cab tour of the Big Boy.
Oh yeah.
Well, speaking of Railfest, Durango and Silverton just had their True West Railfest, sponsored by True West Magazine.
Great segue.
Yeah. Yeah,
A lot better than
I worked
Milky's.
all day on that.
A lot better than
But-
Milky's.
Shut up.
It's funny because it's true.
It is true. But
Let me just-
anyway, True West Railfest, Durango and Silverton is known widely for having some of the best Railfest ever because of just the fact that there's so much equipment and so much unique stuff. All of their K-36s were operational at the time. Both of their K-28s were at the time. 476 obviously is laid up, but it's not really in regular service. They brought down, I believe, 346 from Silverton. Hang on.
Wait, quick question. How many K-36s do they have?
Oh, shoot. Four, not four.
8.
Yes, four. Yes, four.
That's
I should have stuck with my gut. Number 480s, 481, 482, and 486.
so that's
No
7
four,
locomotives
no
so
four.
far. All under steam?
Yes. They're all
Dang.
under steam, and they also have both of their K-28s under steam. They brought down the Eureka this year, which is a wood-fired 040.
Oh,
or
they
440,
did?
Sorry. Yep, they brought down the Eureka.
I love the Eureka.
Oh, yeah.
They had, I think, 3
Oh,
geese
that's-
running. 3 of the galloping geese.
Well,
Okay,
I
so
think-
that's...
Yeah, don't quote me on
I'm not
that one.
counting.
I don't know.
I got a pin at Bellevue
Yeah,
with a galloping goose on it.
It was the 315 that they had running. Sorry, not the 346, the 315 that they had running.
That's 8 steam locomotives so
That's
far.
why they're known. That's why they're known for some of the best Railfest activities ever. Is they have so much going on.
That's awesome. 8 engines under steam at one time.
Yeah,
Well, under D.
and you know that's almost a normal day of service.
No, I'm not counting the geese.
Yeah,
That's a normal day at what?
you know, seven's a little bit more, but you know, 6 in service is a normal day. They also had
Like
the
steam count. I'm not
they
sure.
also had the Casey Jones,
Yeah,
which
pull
they
that
brought down, which was like a
It's like Steamtown in the 70s, you mean?
yeah.
Or just
But they brought the
Free
Casey
lounge.
Jones down, which is like a galloping goose, but it's a hospital type thing. It's like an ambulance on rails, but
That's
it looks
really
like
cool.
That's
it
interesting.
looks like a galloping goose, and it was built as a mine rescue thing.
Cool.
Yeah,
So wait, a
Don't say-
mine rescue? What gauge is it?
3 foot.
Oh.
Like they'd have the guys rescued from the mines, brought down the station to Silverton, and then this thing could go wherever the heck they needed to go.
At maximum speed.
Just so no one would die from the White Dam.
Shout out to The Striker by Clive Cussler.
Oh. Clever.
I don't read.
What?
You don't read.
I
Fantastic.
don't read.
Wait, how far are you into that?
Not very far, like page 50, I think.
Damn it, never mind, Never mind. Disregard everything that I'm saying.
Disregard. Wait, should we disregard the part where you said to disregard it?
Disregard what?
I don't know what you're saying.
Okay, also this week we had... Well, for the past few weeks we've been talking about number 491, better known as Tender Decking!
Tender Decking!
Woo, Tender Decking! Number 491 is back on her feet, as we talked about last week. Although Ellis made the comment last week that she is in sorry shape. I don't know if she has her boiler jacket on her yet, but her boiler has been painted black. She does have a headlight again. Her cab's completed. And as far as I can tell, she's done with her makeover and looks like new. She's back to normal service and looks dang good.
Wiebold is like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you're so good.
Train boner.
Oh yeah, Tender Decking.
Tender Decking.
Tender Decking, oh yeah.
But that's about it. We have the Georgetown Loop with gold mining days, which is like...
I'm
Clear
afraid.
Creek was one of the biggest mining districts of Colorado during the 1860s and 70s. And, yeah, big with silver, big with lead.
Big rig.
But, big rigs.
Public gets eventually.
We'll talk about that later.
Nobody gets that reference.
But that's about it. Everything's good. Hasn't been nothing bad. Everything's going good in Colorado. So
I really need to visit Colorado.
yeah, everything's
for-
good, but it doesn't sound like everything's good in Oregon.
What?
Another great segue.
Well, you don't mention that it's a segue, you idiot.
Crap.
It actually does
It's
sound pretty
different-
good because it
it's
is the
different to
best
say
ever.
after.
Wait, what segue?
Yeah.
Okay, so Union Pacific Railroad achieved best ever first half derailment safety performance.
What?
Open 10 years.
Hang on. Best ever first half derailment safety performance.
That's confusing.
It means
Yes,
for
it is.
It means
Hang on.
for the first half of the year.
800 272.
God, no.
Don't bring Conrail into this. Don't bring them back from the dead.
I have been.
Stop with the Conrail. But in short,
Dang it.
it means
They were good at not derailing. They spent.
Yet
they-
they had a derailment like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, with that head-on
They
collision.
did have a head-on in Utah or a head-on in Arizona with hazardous material trains.
It wasn't Arizona. It was Arkansas.
Oh.
yeah. I was actually going
saw-
to throw that into my
I looked it up on the trains forums and I'm like, oh god.
yeah.
Ellis, wasn't
They
there
didn't
a
just have a head-on
hazmat?
carrying hazardous material.
Wasn't there a hazmat thing in Rhode Island? Like a couple days
Oh wait,
ago?
did any of the hazardous tankers in that head-on collision like explode?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, or we'd be hearing about it a lot more.
All right.
I thought I heard something
Alright.
about it on
Otherwise, the EPA would be like, Union Pacific and trains are a disgrace to the country.
If I can find something on it, there was a NS train that derailed in Columbus 2 years ago, and it was at like 2 in the morning. And it was carrying some tankers for like oil or something, and
It turned
one
into
of
a
them
fireball. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, one of them exploded. Like I saw a video from the news, and the camera was just like pointing, like towards, like down the road, and then you just hear this big boom, and all you see is just a big fireball.
Here comes a
And there's
train.
another
on the
train on the
webcam.
webcam.
Yep.
Yay! That's what 2 trains now. Nice.
This is actually a really good webcam.
Yeah,
Nice.
I might have to come back here just on my own time.
What's the thing
Renegade.
What's the thing you just said, JDur? With the other collision? Or the other derailment? What was that?
Well, like there was a news video of it, and the camera was just like pointing down the road.
Yeah, but
you hear this
what
big
was it
boom.
called?
He's looking for the link for the cargoes.
Yeah, what was it called?
I'll look for it.
No, just tell me what
What'd
it's
you say?
called so I can write it down. I'll ask you for the link later.
Just NS train derails in Columbus and explodes. Let me find a link.
NS train goes boom in Columbus.
Yes.
Now I'll explain
Columbus.
to you.
Norfolk Southern go
Right.
boom.
Why is it
Norfolk
only?
Southern
Why
loses
is it
function.
only?
Moving on to
How come
611.
there's only Union Pacific?
Yes.
Do I hear two trains? I hear two trains.
Yes, we're about to
Two
witness an
trains.
accident. All right,
As
Milky?
of the,
The other one sounds like an ace.
As of
Wait.
the 19th.
Yeah, the other one's clearly an ace. I can tell.
Milky, go
Okay.
on. JDur, can it.
Sorry.
6-7. Much has been happening. The
Wow.
Dynamo was recently serviced and won on air. There's a video to it on Facebook, which I'll just
Give me the
send
link
you
to
guys.
later.
And on the 13th, they tested the cool water pump, and on the 19th, they refurbished some gauges, and they were
Wow, that's loud.
That's why you turn down your
And-
volume.
And then tons of donations have been donated towards Project
Yeah.
819,
Ace.
and that's why I said continue. Money, money, money.
Do, 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 do.
That's
So
awesome.
That's it
3
for
trains
my
on the webcam.
What this?
Alright.
Do we see a
There's the,
BNSF train just barrel through the both
Just
of them?
smash. I was,
I just put the link for the NS derailment.
I'm
Oh,
gonna ask
cool,
you
this-
for it again later.
Okay.
Oh, cool! There's 3 trains on the webcam. Boom!
Boo.
Oh yeah!
So
The Kool-Aid chariot.
getting away from derailments. Well, really,
Kool-Aid.
Let's get back on track.
well, actually, something that was never designed to be on track
Wow,
was
Milky, that was pitiful.
running away
I know.
on the track,
Put 'em.
and it was on fire, and it was a runaway
What?
flaming bulldozer, very close to me in Albany, where
Okay, who hired J.J. Abrams as a construction worker?
Amtrak did.
That'd be Michael
So
Bay.
Amtrak,
No, that'd be CSS.
no, because this bulldozer was on the track.
Was it like doing track maintenance?
Yeah, no, Amtrak had hired some people to, I think, either
Michael Bay and J.J.
either
Abrams.
replace old rail or lay down new rail in this area around Albany, which is good because a lot of this area is very subject to delays. So if they're doing any work, that's a great improvement. But this bulldozer apparently just spontaneously caught fire, and the guy put it in neutral and jumped out. But apparently, it's believed that something had happened to the transmission due to the fire, or the communication between the controls and the transmission, and it didn't. It got into reverse instead. And so it was a flaming bulldozer driving backwards down the tracks towards propane tanks.
Oh, man.
Fortunately,
Clap.
it
It's like a
didn't.
worst case.
Fortunately, it didn't get that far.
Aw.
The worst one that you could have, that's not a worst case scenario. The worst one you could have was if it was an excavator and it was backing up and spinning around at the same time.
Oh.
That
It's like
sounds
one of those redneck amusement park rides that you see on
Yes.
YouTube all the time.
Exactly.
well. The MythBusters tested. You can water ski with it.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
you can row
with an
boats with it, you
excavator?
can load it onto a truck
Yeah.
by itself.
Shout
out to MythBusters.
Yeah,
It lifts.
the runaway flaming bulldozer. It's like a very slow and kind of uninteresting version of Unstoppable.
It's not a coaster.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Grab that.
It's not a coaster. It's moving backwards at 5 miles an hour under its own power. So yeah,
It was possessed.
they caught up to it, put out the fire, and unplugged the batteries so it couldn't start burning again. And that was the end of that.
Hmm.
It must have blown a lot of black smoke, which is apparently a very, very bad
Wow.
thing.
Mm,
Also, it's
indeed.
not white smoke.
No, not white smoke.
As
Oh my.
we come to one of the most heated debates of this episode, and probably one that will... oh, wow. Whoops. Didn't even mean to make that one. This one will probably take up a lot of time in the podcast, if not the most of it.
I will be right back then.
And that is a new discovery written by our brilliant friends across the pond, might I say, that Thomas and Friends is racist.
Oh, it was from an English article? I didn't know that. I thought it was just some...
It was an English news article that started it originally. Apparently, Thomas and Friends is three things. It is racist, sexist, and classist. Or believes in classism, or whatever it is.
What?
Why is it sexist?
No, I'll explain this. The reason for this... let's start with sexism. The reason for the sexism article comes from the fact that there's a lot more male characters than there are female characters.
So?
My response to this is, get over it. It's a guy's TV show. It's not really meant for girls. And at the same time, there are still girl characters. And there's a good number of them.
There's like 20, right?
There's like Emily, Rosie, Daisy, Mavis, Jemima, Annie, Clarabelle, Catherine.
Lady.
Does Jemima ship syrup?
Lady. I mean, that's 10 right there.
Does Lady ever show up outside of the movie?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's disappointing. I actually liked her character.
Yeah, that was a cool looking engine.
Yeah.
It was a Fowler, I believe. But anyway, that's what that one is. It's just...
V-scale, go.
You know, really, there are some things that people just want to make an issue out of.
Well, I mean,
really?
don't get me wrong, racism is an issue, but Thomas is not part of it.
Yeah, and I mean, well, we started with the sexism thing. Do trains have sexist? Do they?
They do when you put
do
cartoony
trains have
faces on them.
genders?
Well, yeah, trains do have genders.
No, steam engines are she's.
I don't...
Lee is
males.
not a she.
That argument could be made as well. You know, is it worth making a hoopla when you can't even definitely say that, you know, they have genders?
Okay.
I don't think there's any way to examine the length of the smokestack.
Well, you just need an inspection pit and a big wrench. Anyway,
Wait, but what
next issue...
Does it have anything to do with the smokestack?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
Something with the valve gear? But moving on to the second part of this issue, which they say Thomas and Friends is racist. It is racist because of the fact that the Diesels are always portrayed as the bad guys, and for whatever reason, they always belch black, oily smoke, while the steam engines put off white smoke.
Cough, cough,
My answer to this, and I did a little bit of research on this one, black is produced obviously by exhaust from a diesel engine. White, however, British steam engines typically put off more white smoke because they burned Welsh coal.
Which is very nice coal.
It is very nice coal indeed. They typically burned Welsh coal, so it put off less ashes. Also, their boilers are designed so that they don't put out as many emissions. They're designed to trap a lot of ashes, whereas American steam engines are designed to eject those ashes so they don't have to be cleaned out as much. It's
pretty much.
I'm honestly astonished with how much actual effort you put into this when you could just basically say, you know,
Thomas is racist. End.
No, you could just basically say it's not. End.
Well, it's not, but I wanted to make a legitimate argument to show these people they don't have any evidence to support their argument.
Because these people are listening to the podcast.
They're using the power of observation for their argument toward this. I'm using the power of science and observation against them to prove that this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
But they do have American steam engine on Thomas and Friends.
They have like 5 of them.
Oh, God.
Which ones do they have?
Porter, Connor, Caitlin.
Hudson.
Is Porter
Hank.
a Porter by coincidence?
No.
Is Hank an 060?
It's an 040.
It's a K4.
Oh.
They have a K4?
Yes.
How long has that been there?
Like
I don't
5
know.
years.
Really?
It's okay. It's okay because K4s are swag.
It was like
It
was like Lady. It was a one-hit wonder.
Oh.
But
he was
basically,
in like
they also have
episodes.
climaxes. They have a couple of Bear Harbor engines, Ellis.
Yes.
They have 2 of them.
What's a
I need to
What's
just
a Bear
look up the
Harbor engine?
new
It's a
characters,
gypsy.
Gypsy
'cause
engines.
A what?
I
Never
don't know
mind.
any
We'll
of
show you
this.
later.
Yeah.
Okay.
And finally, the third argument of this issue is that Thomas and Friends is classist or believes in classism.
What
And
is
this is derived from, of course, that the engines in general are above the cars or the trucks or whatever side of the pond you're on and whatever you want to call them.
Lorries.
The lorries. But
Things that could boom.
it's
Agree.
this one to me is just this one I didn't put really any effort into. This one I'm just going to say, really? You know, they're trucks. They're not. There's a reason for that. They're not so
show's
secure, and
about
that's mainly
trains.
because they can't move under their own power. They literally are nothing but insult boxes.
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
even know why the trucks are sentient.
No, I think they mean the, like, not those kind of trucks, not like the troublesome trucks. Didn't they mean the...
No, they went into it.
Oh.
They meant like railway trucks.
Oh.
Not lorries, like trucks.
Like what? Like freight cars?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
Exactly.
Doesn't make
I
any
thought that meant,
sense.
like,
Of
road
course,
trucks.
they can't move under their own power. They're literally... I don't even know why they're sentient.
Because it makes the show more interesting.
It does make the show more interesting, but that also begs one of the bigger philosophical questions of the show. If they need a driver and fireman to drive, then why are the engines sentient?
Because it makes the show more interesting.
I
That's
thought
true.
they
Moving on.
drive
It
themselves.
gives you something to wonder about
Because-
when you're watching it.
Because if it wasn't... If the engines weren't sentient, it wouldn't be Thomas. It would just be people driving trains around.
It'd be
I'm for that.
It'd be rail
That's
fan.
Yes.
Just be foaming.
Foamer.
And
Foaming
And
Are you
also
with
talking
I
about
have-
Achilles? He's not here.
yeah.
And-
But recently, Colorado or Denver Union Station reopened to the public, and people could take a look at it. And might I say, I was really doubtful of this project at first because it looked super upscale and just super, super not necessary. And honestly, it looks really good. The inside of the old station terminal has been completely, not redone, but it's been refurbished. And it has, even though it has been redone, it does have a lot of influence from the old station. It looks a lot like an old railroad station. Everything's all very shiny. It's all very pristine. And then the platform area was another big concern of mine because it's all glassed over and it's all fancy and everything. But it
Looks
doesn't
nice.
stand out that much. It's not so obnoxious like I thought it would be. You know, they had on a cable special I saw on it not too long ago, there was, you know, the builder's designs of it, and this is a huge glass structure with all these weird curves and, you know, pink and blue LED lights everywhere. And I was like, please get out of this state. Go to England or France or something. This is not where you belong.
Well, it
It
is
doesn't look
because
that bad.
everyone that's, you know, high is going to go to the station and be like, whoa.
Man.
Why is it I can't make Rhode Island a small jokes?
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture. That's amazing.
It is really nice, actually.
I need to.
The one
I really
big
need to visit
downfall of it
Colorado.
is that when they were saying they were going to rebuild the station, Amtrak asked, hey, do you think you can make it so we don't have to back the trains in anymore? And Union Station Project turned around and said, screw you. So,
See, this is why Amtrak has trouble, because nobody likes them.
because nobody wants to do anything for them.
Oh wait,
So
the trains have
still
to
have to
back
back
into the station.
Union Station. It is now a full-fledged terminus.
Wow.
Live terminus from the terminus.
Indeed. But, Milky, you have yet another Santa Fe 484 restoration.
I mean, seriously, are they trying to fire them all up or something? God.
That would be cool.
As was said earlier, this may be the year of the Iron Horse.
What?
Except for this article.
That's what I
What
said.
this said.
What?
This
Like,
article.
no, before we started taping, I said, is 2014 the year of the Iron Horse or
Yeah.
something?
That's what said JDur. He said,
Except-
as we mentioned before.
No, as was said earlier, not during the
Yeah.
podcast, just before we started.
No, I know that. Then why are you trying to argue?
I'm sorry.
I'm not
I didn't
arguing
mean
with
to
you, I'm
spark
just
all this
pointing out
debate,
what
I
I
just
meant.
wanted to know.
Except for this one problem.
Money?
No, not money.
Really?
Please, we know
They-
that's the problem as
They
well.
were doing very well.
They actually have
But-
money?
They were actually about 80% done with the engine, but unfortunately, despite their hard work fixing up the 29, 21,
They said no.
yeah, pretty much the city of Barstow, or wherever it's done by, voted to keep the engine rather than donate to the city, to the Railroad Museum in Barstow, which I think sucks, because they were doing really well on it too. I bet if work was going the way that it was going, it'd be fired up today.
Yeah.
But
That would've been
you know,
pretty
Thanks,
awesome.
Barstow.
You know what? City of Barstow, no. Whoever owns it, no. Donate.
I would
to
just
them
fix. I would just complete the engine and then just drive away.
City of Barstow.
Just lean
you
out the
can
cab,
collectively
give the whole
wash our
city the
boilers.
bird. No, it like paint on the tender. Fuck you, Barstow.
And also, there's a new Amtrak Cascade locomotive illustration. But it's pretty much like they ACS 64s, but diesels. And apparently there's
BNSF, I think.
and apparently they're supposed to be on the Cascades corridor by 2015 or 17, but maybe 16. So I might get to see them in action.
Hey, the lady with the dog is back.
Yeah, TJ, it's a dog.
I hear 2 trains.
I hear something
This
that's
is
not a
awesome.
dog.
Wait, so that's hang on 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh,
That's
and-
6 trains already. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, and TJ has to comment. He will be going to the bathroom. Be back.
Okay. Well,
Me?
it's okay. He doesn't need to be here because right now it's Locomotive Versus.
See, there's 1 train. Oh, it's reefers.
Okay.
Nice.
And this
Oh, no.
week, this
It's very
episode,
attack-
we are pitting Hudson versus Hudson. That is the
The wheel Hudson.
ATSF Hudson, the Ashton, Topeka, and Santa Fe 464 versus the ubiquitous New York Central J3A.
The real Hudson
fake
versus
one.
the better Hudson.
No, the wheel Hudson versus the fake.
No. Well,
Yeah.
yes. But, I'm going to
defending
start
Bill.
right out
With
with
what?
the fact that the J3As burn coal, and that
So
therefore
cool,
makes them cool.
I'm going to start out with this fact. An ATSF 3460 crafts can haul up to 7,000 gallons of oil. They were oil burners, but
They were
They
oil
could
burners.
they could haul a ton of it. And they could
Wait,
also
how much?
haul
7,000 gallons versus
Damn.
versus
Oil.
versus 28 tons of coal.
And then, how much water could you, Hudson, handle?
Less than 14,000 gallons. And the reason for that was they had scoops on the bottom of the tender where they could pick up water while moving at speed. So
Yeah, those
they
are so cool.
they never had to
Getting that
stop to
fucking once you
refuel.
did.
So, out of curiosity, I just looked up coal to oil conversion to see which one burned more fuel, or which one could carry more fuel. And I got an eHow article: how to convert coal to oil. Superheat tons of coal to more than 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. You're no use to me.
But
I didn't know you could do that.
but yeah,
Oh my-
for the
That's how you
record,
solve the oil crisis.
I believe by the time they got the PT1 tenders, which were the last kinds they used with the 28 tons of coal, it was either one stop or no stops between New York and Chicago for fueling up on the
Well,
20th Century
that's-
Limited.
Well, these Santa Fe Hudsons could run between Chicago and LA, no problem, with about 3 stops.
Yeah,
That's long.
and that's
That's about
what, 2,000
3,000
miles?
Yeah,
it's quite
they
some.
were really efficient. And they could hold up to 20,000 gallons of water. How
For
much
the
could
record, the what is it? The water level route between New York and Chicago is about 900 miles or thereabouts.
And it's pretty much dead flat the entire way, so-
Yeah, it is. It is dead flat, which is
And
why
there's mountains on the Santa Fe loop.
the
Yeah,
Hudsons,
Raton, Cajon.
the New York
So,
Central
yeah.
Hudsons, were designed for maximum speed.
Well, actually,
Like,
also,
triple backdraft.
Light speed.
I'm actually trying to find the.
I'm trying to
does
find
it
the
does it say
features.
it doesn't have speed on this website? What the hell?
I know, right?
Whatever. Moving on.
Okay, so boiler pressure, how much can you skip?
boiler pressure. Are you using the
Locomotive.com.
Yeah, but the 3460 class?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to know what I was trying to reference off of. Boiler
Yeah.
pressure. Wait, where's yours? Trying to find yours. Either way, the boiler pressure of a J3A, the working pressure was about 265 psi,
Okay,
which
beat
brought
you in
about
that
which brought about problems.
I beat you in that because I have 300 psi.
Yeah. When was
And-
but
What about tractive effort? How much
Tractive?
tractive effort?
I know tractive effort was actually rather low. And the reason
I'm very high.
for that part of what contributed to that was the fact that the boiler pressure was rather low, and it made up for that with where the hell is tractive effort? There it is. It made up for that with the booster engine, which it actually needed to get moving from a cold stop with a heavy train. So
Yeah,
it was
but that's
about 42,000 pounds is the tractive effort.
okay. Mine's about 48,500 pounds. So close, but I win.
Well, what's funny is the J3As have the least tractive effort of all of the classes of New York Central Hudson.
What is the factor of adhesion on both of them?
The factor of adhesion on the Hudson is quite high at 4.82.
Yeah, mine's still mine's 4.39.
Mm.
Wait, with factor of adhesion, is it better to be closer to 4 or to have a higher
It's
number?
better to be closer to 4.
Okay, so I win.
Yeah.
Blue.
So we've got. I've never actually looked at this statistic before. The ratio of driving wheelbase to overall engine wheelbase. I'm not sure how that would affect anything.
Oh. What's yours? I
How
just
big
found
your
mine.
driving wheels are compared to
Point.
the engine?
No, it's the driving wheelbase, not the driving wheel size.
Interesting.
So it's 0.35. I really don't know what this.
I know mine is too.
I really don't know how that makes a difference or what it really
Well,
does.
they tie, so it doesn't really matter. I
it
guess.
doesn't matter at all. They were.
What's the total weight and of your engine intended?
Total weight of engine and tender. Total engine and tender weight is 681,500 pounds. And I believe, I'm gonna guess that's without the shrouding.
Yeah. I'm guessing that mine is mine's 80,000.
Whoa. What?
Yeah.
80. What? Hold on.
80,000?
Yeah, that's not right. I thought you were about to say 800,000, and I went, wait, what? Yeah, no, it is 808,000 for you, Milky. So you are almost.
They're about 10 times less.
No.
Man, that engine has slimgenics.
No, Milky, you're about 100,000 pounds heavier than I am.
Oh my.
Fatty.
Fatty.
Oh well, but we
Eat
produce.
some carrots,
we have-
fatty.
What's the tribe diameter?
I know you blow me out of the water here. You're at 84 inches, and I am at 79.
Oh my.
And originally, I thought I'd chalk that up to the fact that the design for the J3A was older than the design for the 3460 class, but as a matter of fact, they were designed in the same year.
Yeah.
By Baldwin for the 3460 versus Alco for the J3As.
Baldwin is superior. I'll give him
I'll
give him that.
Yes.
Alco was a good works. Don't get me wrong. Baldwin is the best, though.
Yeah.
Milky, I have a question
You can't
for you.
beat Baldwin.
Lee would be very offended, but I'm going to let it slide.
Why did the 34.6? Why did they need 84-inch drivers? I mean, that's
For
insane.
speed.
Because maximum speed.
They had the need for
I keep
speed.
forgetting that like half of the route between Chicago and LA is just flat.
Planes. Flat. Dead flat.
It had top speed of 90 miles per hour.
If I was in control of one of those, I'd just try to go light speed.
J3.
Well, that's what I kind of do with 40 for 49, but that's the difference.
The 20th
I mean,
Century
it's got
Limited.
84-inch drivers. You could
You know,
probably over 100.
Surprisingly enough, the J3A had a top speed of, recordedly, anywhere between 110 and 120 miles per hour.
Oh.
And I guess that's the signature of a passenger locomotive right there.
Yeah.
I actually wonder if one of the Santa Fe, or if either of the Hudsons, if they got one restored, I wonder if they could beat the Mallard.
Well,
Yeah, but they're not going to beat the T1.
The T1.
Oh my god,
Yeah, the
that's so
T1.
awesome.
Well, that begs my final question anyway. That I need to make my judgment. Milky, how many Santa Fe 3600 classes are left?
2.
2.
Well, no, there's
And Ellis,
one,
how many J3As are left?
You know the answer. Don't even bother asking.
Okay.
One.
0.
Because, well, technically there's a 3450 class and a 3460 class still around. But there's still Hudson's new way.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Milky on this one.
He does.
Yeah.
He does have a better engine by far. He doesn't.
I'll
I'll never relinquish the cool factor from the J3As, but
That's very true.
In terms of
as much as I like
class-
the New York Central Hudsons, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Milky.
All right, congratulations, Milky.
even I admit he's got the better engine.
Yay!
I'm
Boo.
sorry, but did
I got-
anybody know in trains with a Z that
What?
you could put track across nothing?
TJ, this isn't V scale.
What do you mean
Shut up.
across? Oh, you mean like across an empty baseboard? Like, or
Well-
rather,
Well,
a
like the
space
gap
where a
in
base.
between two base.
I've done that.
Yes,
since
I've done
I got
that.
The original trains.
I've done that.
What would be the
We've-
point of it?
No
To
point.
make an awesome route. Like you're just driving through beautiful scenery and then nothing.
Ludicrous.
Well, if you were making like a model, I guess it could be like a
No,
like if you
there's
put
a,
a track
there's,
like if
no,
you
there's
put
a proper way to make model railroads and trains. I'll show you guys later.
no, but like if you wanted like a lift out bridge between two table like
Again,
base,
there's a proper way to do that.
like you could just get like a trestle and put it across two empty baseboards.
Yeah, but that's
but
quite a
there's a
distance.
Yeah, but there's a proper way.
That
to
is quite a distance, but if you're modeling in like G scale, that's not that big.
No, there's a proper way
It's
to
not
make
that
a.
big.
No, there's a way to make a model railroad and trains. I'll show you guys later. I'll find a link to it.
Yeah, so
I have a
Locomotive
feeling it's gonna be
Versus,
funny.
Milky. You've won at Locomotive Versus for this
Whoa.
week. Everybody that has suggestions for Locomotive Versus, we have one for the next 2 weeks,
Who wants
but
the
we
vote?
still want suggestions.
We have plenty of stuff in the backlog, but ours are all kind of crap, save for one.
Wait,
Uh,
yeah.
Which is the safe for
so
one.
please, suggest things. Maybe save for two, but please suggest things that are more interesting than us, and maybe even some very unusual mismatches that we might not think of. So,
Indeed.
Yeah.
once again, congratulations, Milky, on your win this week, and
Woo.
I'm not sure who will be running to the battlefield next week, but I wish them luck as well. Or next episode, rather.
Indeed.
I always forget we don't do this weekly, unlike every single one of the other shows on this channel.
Come to think of it, I don't know why we don't do it weekly.
Because train news
Well-
is slow.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I put the link to the Trans Model Railroad forum thread in the Skype chat.
Alright, so, what do we have next?
Model
Model
railroad.
rail-
Model railroading. Now,
Almost a good segue there.
the last
Until you said
Saturday that I was in Rhode Island, the same Saturday that I went out to Waterfire, just realized that
All of the cool things ever.
yeah, so I saw all of the cool things ever. And
Swag day.
that's because I went into the train club. This was before TJ got back. I forgot I actually do have a Saturday that I keep forgetting about. And that's that was it was a fun Saturday, but nothing really particularly interesting happened. But
Wait, what? Last Saturday?
yeah.
No, that was pretty cool. You drove a Hudson on your last Saturday here.
Oh yeah, that's
It was
right.
New York Central Day.
That's right. It was New York Central Day. I don't know why the hell I didn't write that down.
Yeah, why didn't you? That was really cool.
That was really cool. But speaking of Hudsons, all of the cool things ever included a Hudson, as well as Southern Pacific, a Southern Pacific Daylight,
Milky
a GS4,
phone.
as well as
What?
a Norfolk and Western J class, a relative of 611.
When do you have a J?
Hmm?
Since when did you have a J?
We don't. This cool guy brought all that stuff in. Just one guy.
Oh,
He had
nice.
so much stuff.
Not enough
And
space.
Lots of money.
It was fantastic. But they were all cheating. Because they had they had powered baggage cars to push the
Oh.
engines. Because the engines weren't all very good engines.
Oh.
Wow.
It just
No,
ruined
that-
everything.
That's almost as much cheating as the J3A is having a power truck.
It's not a power truck.
Well, no, that's that's okay because it's on
Or
the
a booster.
engine.
Yeah, that's not cheating.
It's
Yeah,
it's
I
just-
suppose that argument, that's fair, that it's on the
It's
engine.
like hangover logic. It's not illegal. It's just frowned upon.
But
Well, I haven't seen
so
that.
I had my
dog like it's a
I had my
small horse.
amazing dose of 20th Century Limited, and Daylight, and Norfolk and Western train.
And Norfolk Western swag.
Yeah. And then the following week was New York Central Day, where one of the guys brought out a, not streamlined, J3A. We drove that around. The New York Central Mikado was out. The New York Central passenger cars were out and hanging around. TJ, what else happened? Do you remember?
Mike. The mic was out.
Yeah, I said that.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Oh, well, we ran the 19th Century Limited.
Yeah.
We ran a mixed train. Well, I ran a mixed train.
You always do, TJ.
In reverse.
Well, yeah, but in New York, in all New York Central except
Yeah,
for a couple
all
of
of it.
freight cars.
Almost.
Oh,
and then
that
and
was
then there
clever.
was a New Haven train. With ice
Oh, yeah.
wheels.
Whoop,
And
whoop.
then there was the cab forward.
No, there wasn't a cab forward, Milky.
It was a
We
day.
have an SB9.
There was the box cab Shay.
If
I need to look that up,
Okay.
find more info about it.
We all do.
But yeah, so it was New York Central Day, and it was a lot of fun for my last day at the club for probably
your
a
last
while.
hurrah.
And then I took,
Well, you'll be back
and
eventually.
then instead of returning Lee to his shed on the branch line where nobody will find him, and he has some steam sympathizer diesel shunter that lives with him. Talk about it like it's a war.
Backstory.
You're a diesel
But
Is
I,
that
uh,
Lee's backstory?
I took Lee with me. He
You're
went
a steam
in a
sympathizer.
he went in a shoebox. He was wrapped in a dish towel, and I took him
He
to
was
RPI.
swamped.
And then he found a new home in the New England, Berkshire, and Western Railway, which is in the basement of one of the dorms here. It's quite old. The society itself has been around for, I think, like 70 years or something like that. And but the current layout is 27 years old.
Wow.
So it's got quite a lot of heritage and quite a lot of unusual areas. And there's also a rail car with sails on it. But Lee
What?
found this new home.
Hang on.
Railcar with sails. What is
You,
that?
you have to describe that a
By
little bit
rail
more.
car, I mean like a flat car with a pointed bow that has masts and sails.
Why would
Okay.
they have that?
Because at the layout before the one we were currently at, they had just started building it, and the building was going to be.
Was someone trying to make a boat train?
They had just started building it, and the building was going to be torn down. So they just, instead of packing up everything, because there wasn't very much to pack up, they just kind of screwed around until the building was demolished. So they made like very weird things like that.
Boat train.
Yeah.
And then
Hashtag
of course,
boat train.
they're Hudsons in disguise.
Oh yeah, they have quote-unquote heavy Pacifics, which are actually just Hudsons with the trailing truck swapped out. It's kind of easy to tell.
It is very easy to tell. I can testify to
It
that
looks
as well.
very incongruous. It's just...
It does not look very good.
But I was running a track cleaning train because everything is dusty, because it's the basement of a dorm. And I had parked Lee. Okay, there's a bug on the camera. Never mind. I had parked Lee just at the
It's a
head
ghost.
at the head of this train in one of the yards. That was at the base. That was at the base of the hill, and it was about 15 or so cars long. And so I just kind of got bored running the train very slowly, cleaning track, going back and forth across spots that weren't working right. And I looked at Lee and I looked at the train and I kind of tugged on it to see how heavy it was, and I went, no, this couldn't do it. But I pulled it out of the yard because some of the tracks weren't wired up. I pulled it out of the yard. I was sitting at the bottom of the hill, and I started up the engine, and it kind of tugged on all the cars, and stopped. And so I pulled one of the cars out, put it back together, and I give it a little nudge. It did it again, and it stopped. So I'm like, okay, what's the heaviest car here? And then I found that in the train was the Providence Northern boxcar that I brought with me. And
That was the heaviest car?
I was like, this car's friggin' heavy. What am I doing with this? So I put it on an adjacent track. And then I also took out a Canadian National boxcar because that was heavy as well. And so we had... And I didn't actually check the rest of the cars, so I'm not entirely sure how heavy this train was. But it was just light enough. Because with 12 cars, including the caboose, Lee pulled the train over the summit and down the other side until I hit a stretch of dead track. And then I had to stop there because I just couldn't go any farther. But that was his first actual movement around the layout, and that was really cool, getting to see him pull more than like 3 or 4 cars.
Little tiny midget cars at that.
No, they're normal size for him.
For him.
Question.
For him. What?
How steep was the grade towards the summit?
I actually can't tell, believe it or not. In the Providence Northern, it's always very obvious where the grades are, but the scenery, well, first of all, because they're nuts, and second of all, because the terrain is mostly not there, but the terrain on this railroad masks the grades so well, I wasn't even sure they were there until someone pointed them out to me. But they're not Providence Northern grades. It isn't like a 2.5% grade up at the summit. It's probably maybe 1 or 1.5.
Okay.
It's not crazy, but it's
I was
there.
thinking 2 or 3.
No, Providence Northern is 2 or 3.
No, 5. Isn't the grade from lower staging to upper staging like 5?
No, it's like 3.5.
It looks way more than that.
It looks ridiculous, but it's
At least
really
it's not
only 3.
Saluda, where it's like 5% for 3 miles.
Cough, cough.
Right.
Uinta.
Alright,
Wow.
that, what, 7?
8. An 8% grade and a 66-degree curve.
Uinta 51 can definitely lift then.
Yeah.
It would need to hit the gym before it takes a train over there.
But,
Big wave.
this is a lot of very old layout stuff, and it's very interesting, and you'll probably hear a lot more from me about that in the coming days. Or in the coming
12%
episodes.
grade on this layout right now.
That's always hangs out there every day.
Hey, well, I just cleaned... Okay, you know what? I'll save that for later. Wiebold.
Yes, so I have some interesting stuff this week, and unfortunately some of it ties in with what Ellis just talked about.
Ha ha! Ha 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 ha!
But first off, we have a mill restoration along the narrow gauge branch line that I actually volunteered to fix up. It's a building that during the layout construction was just never finished and was kind of put there as a placeholder, and
Sounds like the power station.
it's really obvious that it was never finished.
Sounds like the what, Ellis?
The power plant.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the window panes, it doesn't have the doors, it doesn't have anything. It's just this building. It's completely empty. No details whatsoever. It's just the building. And it's like one of the most prominent structures on the layout. Like you can see it from the door where you walk in the big yard and everything. And so it's just not, it's a very prominent building and it just looked bad. And I volunteered to fix that up. And so far it's going pretty well. I've learned a lot about a new product that I now swear by called styrene. That for any modeler that ever wants to build anything that is square,
Double
use styrene.
rainbow. Oh my god! On the camera.
There's what?
Double train.
Oh,
What?
Sonic Train Boom.
Oh, they're BNSFs. Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't see the engines though.
The one coming towards us is NS.
Oh, nice. So that's 8 or 9 trains already.
Yeah, I lost count.
Awesome.
I wasn't counting from the beginning. That's a lie. I didn't lose count because I wasn't counting ever.
I think it's like 8.
Yeah. Well, basically that's that. I'm getting more and more absorbed into the HON3 every week, hoping that maybe sometime this holiday season, perhaps I can afford to get into that. Also, we had the first legitimate run that went well. You guys probably remember, like,
Let me guess. You didn't use double-headed 2662s for switching.
No, actually.
What?
Our first run session, which we talked about probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, our first run session was absolutely atrocious. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong.
And some other stuff went wrong, too.
Yeah, and then some. But that's another story. We basically just decided nobody was doing anything, there wasn't anything to be done, so we dragged out an engine, which happened to be my 280, hooked onto a few freight cars at random, and just start going around the layout, dropping and picking up cars. And it was actually really cool. We stopped at a few industries, switched around a bunch. Everything went really well, and we had a couple of mainline trains that we had to pull off into sidings. It was our first really legitimate run that we actually had a goal and we actually did something that went well.
Molto bene.
Yes, unfortunately on that note, we also discovered that, now this is something that I don't know because my engine as well was pulling a train of 12 cars including caboose, much like Lee. Now each of these cars is weighted to a scale weight, so each of them are pretty heavy cars, and also there's a 4% grade.
Ooh.
So...
Well, it's narrow gauge, so it should be able to handle it.
This was the standard gauge main line.
Yeah.
Oh.
But, so, on the Helix out of town, that's still a 4% grade on a Helix of all things.
Ugh.
I had to take off 2 cars just to get it to quit slipping, and it still slipped, but it eventually got to the top where we brought it back down and hooked up the other cars. And we went around the layout a few times. And then from lower staging, there's another really long grade that is also 4%. That goes up through staging and then out and onto the main line through, I think, a mine tunnel escape. It like comes out at a coal mine
It's
halfway
weird.
across the layout. Yeah, we call it the coal sneak around track. It's what the
Oh, yeah,
guys
that's
running
right.
the coal drags used to cheat. Yeah, there was a big accident.
Yeah, I remember.
Described. But
How could you not?
yeah. So we're heading out there, and in staging, they've been working on the wiring under staging a lot recently. And it just so happened that a few of the wires and photo cells that we use to detect when trains or where trains are at what time, they had for some reason popped up between the ties and were sticking up on the tracks. And we hit probably 3 of them and had to stop and back down the hill before we, 10 minutes later we figured out what had happened. And then the worst thing, it's buried on the other side of the eastern staging yard and under the westbound staging yard, so it's impossible to get to. So we're under the layout, pulling on wires, trying to get these photo cells to get down. And in the process of this, of course, the circus train derails on the next track. So we clear away the photo cells, finally re-rail the circus train out of the way, and get moving again just for it to slip and the same problems to happen. So, first legitimate run, but I think roles have been reversed between Lee 280 and that Lee lifts more.
All of a sudden. By the way, I will say that, of course, you have much worse grades than I do, but the NEB&W is actually pretty strict on regulation in terms of weighting, in terms of wheels, and in terms of couplers.
Yep, we're the exact same.
Yeah.
Metal KD number 5s.
Also, what was it? I had a discussion with one of the guys. There are a couple of guys that I've really gotten to know so far. And I had a discussion with one of them regarding the Providence Northern Boxcar. And, he's like, when we do operating sessions, we're probably gonna have to take that off, because it's the funny thing about, we don't allow things from fictional railroads, except for this one. But, yeah, that was that. I was like, oh, but you would meet them in Montreal. Also,
Don't
I think
allow fictional railroads that are not this one.
yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Or the other one that they came up with and are interchanging with.
Wow.
So I
Way to
cannot-
play nice, guys.
So I
I'm finally
cannot
back.
wait.
Oh,
Yeah, but
he
you can't do that because you're not. Why can't I do that? Because you're not. We don't benefit from it.
Wait, are we
I
still
can't-
on model railroading?
Yes.
Yeah. You have something to say about
as a
model
matter of
railroads?
fact, we're on to Milky.
No, I don't.
Okay, my cheat skill collection, I haven't really talked about it that much because, well, I haven't really done that much with it in the past half year.
Tell the
But
story
it
of your
is-
G skill, Milky.
Yes, one of them is my price possession, my Burlington Route Mikado, which 5-car pass-through train, which is about 20 feet long, probably. I also have a Climax, 2
Climax.
10-wheelers, a few yard cars, some Sumter Valley, box cars that are actually right behind me, a White Patch caboose, and I think, and a gondola. It's a pretty extensive cheat skill collection, but
Do you have any track?
yes, I still
You
have
need to
all.
build a garden railroad.
I've been thinking about doing it one of these days.
I really want to build one, like
And
at
I-
my grandparents' house, because my grandma's a huge gardener.
Hmm.
But
That'd be
I
awesome.
don't have any. I don't have any money.
Oh.
Ellis and I
There's
have
always
talked
prostitution.
about garden. Ellis and I have talked about garden railroads on multiple occasions.
Yeah, because you
There's
wanted
actually a garden
you wanted to
railroad.
build one in your backyard, and you knew your mom would not let you.
I'm gonna link you to the local garden railroad club.
Which is called?
Yeah, but
The
Garden railroading,
hang on,
aka
let-
garden railroading.
Let me find the name of it.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, while he
but-
finds the name of that, I heard you guys have been screwing around in Gmod.
Oh, of
found it.
course. You
It's the Columbus Garden Railway Society, and they
you
have an
most
open tour
literally
every.
heard.
They have an open house every year, or like an open tour of the layouts every year. So, hopefully, I will get to go.
Okay.
It's a really fun tour. One of the layouts, which isn't too far from me, has I think like maybe 8 running trains at one time, including a big boy. So
The bigger boy.
no, just a big
What?
boy. There's a freedom train. I have some pictures of it from last year.
What
I'll,
about the big boy Challenger? Do they have one of those?
There's actually a Challenger there. I think there's a UP Challenger and then a Clinchfield Challenger. The
Oh,
the people who own that are really rich.
What about a big boy Challenger?
A big boy
Shout out to
Challenger?
Person X again.
Wait, what?
He called the Challenger a big boy Challenger, and he thought that was a locomotive class.
Oh no. Oh,
I'll. Oh, okay, I linked you to the website. Put it in the cargoes, and I have some. I have pictures of it from. I have the pictures of the tour from last year, so I'll show you guys that later.
Alright. That's cool.
You
So
know,
yeah, you
it
guys
is.
screwing around in Gmod?
Yes, we did.
Did you actually do any train building?
yeah, we
A
did.
little.
Not
We
really.
did some. We did
I
some
tried,
live
but
steam.
Achilles killed me.
We did some live steaming.
There's another train on the webcam.
I can hear it. Just keep talking.
Oh,
We did some live steaming, right? Wiebold and Milky.
Yep.
yeah.
Demon indeed.
and me.
And I did some standard gig stuff, but that doesn't matter. But
And-
I've seen
And me. I was there for that.
I beat the Obu Pass.
So yeah,
That
we,
indeed
we
did
used
beat the overpass.
we used a mod called Sligwolf's Mini Trains, and we
Yes,
used a
I
map.
was there for this. It was nostalgia.
Yeah, but-
It was Flashback Friday.
But so Wiebold also hosted a server with a map
Mac
that
and
was
cheese.
built by Sligwolf, I think, for the
Yeah.
mini trains.
Yeah, in the map. Yeah. And there's this one Obu Pass that Wiebold kind of cheated on with his ride-on train. He no-created his seat with the world, so
That's not cheating, it's creative winning.
Hey.
Winning.
but I didn't cheat. I somehow managed to find a way to get my seat to go under it, so
That's using the tools around you.
yes.
Utilizing your resources.
The way
Indeed.
to But yeah, that was fun. We drove around a few steam engines, a few diesel Swixies. It was
We
fun.
listened to Thomas music while we were doing this.
Oh, jeez.
Yep.
I rickrolled a few people.
It was excellent.
Yes. It was Flashback Friday, and Wiebold
JDur and I
remembers
both
this.
cried.
Yes.
Wait, what?
Literally cried.
We were listening to Thomas music, and it brought back memories. And I legitimately started tearing up. I was trying to control.
I'm not gonna get into this. No,
Yeah.
They
I'll-
started actually crying.
Yeah, we'll explain this to you, Ellis.
Off
We'll
the
explain-
air.
We'll explain this to you later.
All right,
Oh,
but
the feels.
remember how TJ, you were for a moment. Are you still working on your layout as we do this?
Or you like Milky, who starts a new layout
You
every
you
week.
accidentally.
No, I don't.
I believe you said something about a 12% grade.
Oh yeah. So I am trying to build the narrow gauge portion of my layout on trains with a Z, and I started it last week. The narrow gauge section, and the standard gauge line, which started as just a passing siding with a little station and a meatpacking plant,
Giggity.
and then just a single track continuing on, turned into a passing siding, 2 multiple industries, the same meatpacking plant, a narrow gauge passing siding, a narrow gauge Y, 2 narrow gauge multiple industries, a narrow gauge side of the station, and then it goes off. The narrow gauge is actually quite complex. The narrow gauge makes like a 180 turn. It goes over the standard gauge, and the bridge is like half is like a 90. The bridge is like a 90-degree turn, and it turns and it goes down. Like it goes up a grade really steep, and it goes down another steep grade to the station where there's just a track end buffer, and the Y is just a track end buffer as well. But then it goes through a tunnel and it starts going up the grade, and after you come out of the tunnel, since the tunnel's single track, there's a passing siding, and off of that passing siding, there's a tiny little spur with a forney, which might get upgraded to a Malay,
Oh.
but I'm not sure because it's supposed to be just like a helper engine.
Hashtag keep the forny.
It's just a little helper engine that because the grade is very steep going up after you cross over the dirt road. It's very steep. It's for a while it's 3 something, and then it goes up to 12.5.
Good lord, TJ.
I'm just kidding. The grade does not go up to 12.5. It did at one point because I messed up with the height, and I added a 1 before the 9, so it was like 100 from like 90 to 195.
Jesus Christ.
So it's all of a sudden like a 12% grade.
But
Yeah, that's a big grade.
so TJ accidentally made a giant grade, but there was a point, a section of the Terminus Van Anaconda that I used to call the roller coaster,
Uh-oh.
and it came down.
Oh, is that where you put
Came in
that
like a wrecking ball?
switchback bridge?
What?
Is that the 2-foot section?
Yeah, where it just
Oh, it,
weaves
that
back
goes
and
down to the
forth.
little farm thingy.
Yeah, that was
Oh.
the roller coaster.
That'd be fun to
That
drive on.
that has been removed and
Really?
replaced with not as stupid trackage.
No, you
Like
should have
how-
kept it.
what
I
did you
want to
do?
drive. I want to drive on that in multiplayer.
Too bad you're not.
Mm.
And it's on 06, so you wouldn't be able to anyway.
Well, eventually. I already have an old copy of it ported to 12. If you want the old copy of it that's ported to 12, it has the roller coaster in it. I'll give it to you.
Okay. I'll
No,
let you know if I want that.
But yeah, that was that. I did a lot of I made trees,
Good job.
and
You
it was
pleased the hippies.
and it was me half the time I was putting down all the trees. I was just grumbling about. I wish I had speed tree. I wish I had speed tree. I wish I had speed tree.
What's speed tree?
They're the fancy trees in 12 that sway in the wind.
Oh. Why are they called speed trees?
Because you can put down like clumps of them.
Wait. Oh, are those the ones that you can copy and paste?
Yes.
Mhm.
What was I gonna say?
Well, TJ, I'm not sure you got to your branch line-ception point of what you were talking about.
Okay, so the line itself is already like the standard gauge section is already a branch line from a main line in which at the beginning of the branch line where the engine house and the Y is and the yard, well, it's not really a yard, it's more of like a three spur tracks that hold
It's a
things.
mini yard.
It's
the yard.
It's
A
and
yard
then
on a
there's-
diet.
And then there's a double track main line. It's one tile wide, and there's just portals at either end. So trains randomly spawn in and out. But so it starts down there, and there's a 4-stall engine house with 4 locomotives. There's a coaling tower, passing siding Y, spur for caboose.
MCA.
Caboose.
Caboose.
It's actually cabooses.
No, it's not.
No, it's caboose.
JDur looked it up. It's cabooses.
No, it's caboose.
It's not cabooses, it's caboose.
What is this?
Do you want me to ask my English teacher this on Monday?
No, because
No,
it's caboose.
it's caboose.
No, we have.
Okay.
No,
I don't need to bring Miss Gay into this. then.
English does not matter. It's caboose.
It's caboose.
Frickin'
Anyway,
English.
so there's a track for caboose.
Damn right there
Thank
is.
you.
And then it goes up through 2 mountains, and there's a big rock cut, and then it passes over a river, and then it goes alongside a lake. At one side there's a mountain, one side there's a lake, and then there's an abandoned spur that doesn't even have a switch stand or a switch anymore. And that's the only place with 3D grass, not just texture grass.
There you go.
Yes.
There's evidence that caboose. Is,
And then, so once you
Okay,
get to
shut up.
the area
Okay.
that I said was very hectic from being just a passing siding and the little industry, is now a main interchange for the branch line and the branch line.
Branchception.
One of the branch lines is standard. Well, the original branch line standard gauge. Then you get to this area, not sure what it's called yet. And then, so you get there, and then there's all the interchanges for the narrow gauge branch line.
Another train on the webcam.
Yep.
Oh, an NS in the trailing position. Nice.
Bow chicka bow wow.
And then, so at the moment, as we speak, I am continuing track work on the branch line. Ow, my
That's loud.
ears. And so I am raising grades and building tiles as we speak.
Racing grades, so you're passing.
I haven't even started school yet.
Oh. I did 3 days ago.
I don't
Yeah,
start till the 2nd.
I did 2
yeah,
weeks ago.
I don't start until the 3rd.
Milky, I hate you.
Okay, speaking of me, Oregon Railroad 2.0.
That's a great segue.
That's like,
Yeah,
JJ, you ruined it. That's like 3 I've made, actually.
that was perfect.
I'm the segue master.
So, Ellis, no.
What?
I'm not.
Did you
I didn't delete it. I moved it.
Okay.
Silly goose.
But Oregon Railroad 2.0, we started the Oregon 7 due to the old Oregon 7 being not as detailed, and I could have done better. And I will.
Damn right you could have.
And right now I'm in Boise, Idaho. On the route. I'm building east to west this time rather than west to east.
Ooh, I
because
need
the
to
west
get
is because it's the hardest part to build.
There's
But
an
the
E-unit on the webcam.
No, there's not.
I was kidding.
Wow.
There's just containers. Containers and some grass.
And right now all I have in Boise is a small bit of the town, a roundhouse, engine facility, a Coca-Cola machine at that roundhouse. 3 for employees,
Coke machine? What's a Coke machine?
It's where you get drugs.
and we have
Has
a,
anyone seen that commercial?
No.
If I can find it, I'm gonna look for it.
and we have a pasture coach yard, we have a freight yard, and we have a big Y. And then the Utah and Northern yard, which I haven't made yet. Which this Eagle just route. That coincides with mine.
Coke
But that's about it for the league. So in OpenTDD, I became a multi-million-dollar company within about a few hours.
And what is this?
OpenTDD. OpenTDD.
Okay, here's the Coke Lionel Train Coke commercial I was talking about.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, don't spoil it for people who haven't seen it.
I'm sure nobody's gonna watch it.
It's about 50 seconds, but it's pretty good because trains.
Wait, the Lionel one, is that the one with the Berkshire?
No, it's just look at the link.
No.
I want to look at the link.
There's
No.
an F unit, so Milky can foam over that.
No, I usually foam up the cab forwards.
You can foam over any transition era engine.
Isn't
Yes.
that a good thing?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
It's not so bad.
It's a nice place.
Wow.
Oh,
It's a hexaplex.
shut up with your
It's a
face.
hexaplex.
What is this?
It's not so bad. So shut up at your face.
But finally, we have come to the conclusions. Unless anyone has
Okay.
anything else to say.
So
I think we're about good.
Who's going first?
We could have.
If you take a look at these statistics here, down the bottom,
TJ's going first.
TJ is going first. You have the first last word, and then you gotta shut up at your face.
Shut up at your
Shut
face.
up your face.
What? Way to put me on the hot seat, Ellis.
Put you at the throttle.
I don't know. I don't have a conclusion.
All right, awesome. So,
Good
Wiebold.
job.
Is it my
Hello?
turn?
No, it's Wiebold's turn.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's why I said Wiebold.
What?
Oh, I didn't hear it. The
I
mic
didn't
might have
hear
cut
you.
out.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't hear you. Well, there's not really much to say. Well, what's the matter, you? Hey, I got no respect. What do you think you do? Why you look so sad? It's not so bad. It's a nice place. I'll shut up on my face.
JDur.
Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle.
No.
No.
Well, I have as my last words, I have a very unique suggestion for a quote-unquote heritage. Okay, it's not very heritage. Heritage locomotive.
Very
If
good.
you recall the train bow from a couple of episodes ago, NS should totally do that with one of
Gay
their
Pride train.
engines. They should just paint an engine rainbow. It would be amazing.
Well, don't send it, you annoy me.
Milky?
I have two final sentences
one.
I would like to say. Okay, SP Day Snowplow. Apparently SP had one. Back in the 1980s.
Alright,
Dot.
and that will end the Terminus for this week. Everyone say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
I hope all you
Saturday
guys
gang.
enjoyed listening, and thank you for coming along for the ride.